Oh my god, it's me. Hello, hello. Hello. On time for once. Hello. And then hello, hello. And it is good evening. Even though the sun stays out longer and longer every time now. Hmm. Um, yeah. Sunday, I woke up kind of early for what I do on a Sunday. I woke up before noon. That's a new record now. No. Um, yeah. What? Here we are. We are at Epilogue 2 and Meet. I assume we're either gonna go back to Caliborn or we're gonna skip back to the other guys. Actually, where the last one? Last page was Caliborn, right? Yeah. Uh, but okay, actually, quickly, I need to mention I didn't know that Doctor Who had like a bit of a spat where the showrunner was kind of heavily disliked. I used to like be big on Doctor Who, and I stopped watching right before this guy took over, I guess. So apparently I missed out on the fall of Doctor Who, and I'm curious on going back to it. Like, one of the reasons I stopped watching Doctor Who was because I didn't have a way to watch it. Like I didn't have cable, I wasn't paying for anything like that. And I would go to I was in high school here, and I would go to my grandfather's or my grandmother's house just to watch an episode of Doctor Who, and that was like the gameplay. That was the game plan. Good game plan. I like Doctor Who. I like media. I like watching things, reading things. Uh, and Matt Smith is the best Doctor. David Tennant's like number two, maybe number three. I liked Peter Capaldi, but I didn't watch him all the way through. I didn't see his ending. Yeah, I'm like uh, I'm like a little tired. I was like laying down, but not napping, and now I'm shot up. Speaking of reading, how's Limbus Company going? I have not put more time in that game yet. I ended up being somewhat busy yesterday, and then Friday I ended up playing a game called Rabbit and Steel with the lad Gerbos Tactician. I am so very bad at that game, especially under the influence of alcohol. Yeah, fun game. It's like a bullet hell roguelike cooperative game. Hmm. Saying roguelike kind of feels weird there. I feel like a lot of the bullet hell games I played growing up and like at all times have always been are bullet hell games like in I guess I'm trying to wonder if they're like inherently roguelites, but no, a lot of the Toho ones aren't. But a lot of the space ones kind of seem somewhat like it. Hmm. Very fun game. You suffer from the consequences of your own actions. Um, that is, I suffer from the human condition. Yes, yes. Uh, uh, yeah. Okay. Now let's see what happens. Epilogue 2. I plan on finishing Epilogue 2. I don't really know how long it is. I assume it's relative to Epilogue 1, but hey, okay. Epilogue 2. Meet Chapter 9. If you were if you were one of the haters and fools who saw Lord English's masterpiece circulating through the black veins of the dark web and were rendered agog by its majesty, then you probably have a pretty good sense of what happened next. You probably also wouldn't be rendered that much additionally agog if you were told it didn't happen precisely as conveyed by the young lord's expertly produced claymation theater. Roommate jump scare. Would it be that surprising if the first four heroes weren't immediately captured in the juju? As a dark web swan song broadcast through bogus Vine videos originally depicted? Probably not. Would it raise any eyebrows if the actions turned out to be a bit sloppier than that? A bloody nose here, a stray wedgie there, someone trips on a cape, loud eruptions of the word ow, petulant insults, smack talk, crude gestures, stray honks from the sidelines. Would it rock anyone's world to discover the top motion feature did not treat this battle royale with the utmost fidelity? No one who witnessed the spectacle online would react to these discrepancies with much surprise, but you are not such a witness. You are still John Egbert, and you have. I don't know if you can hear this background. I got scared though. Hmm. Going on wild in the BG. Okay, okay. You are still John Egbert, and you had no idea what sort of Rakshas? Row? Well, I'm using the internet. Some words I'll take the L on, some words I won't. Raucous. Raucous? Raucous? Is that raucous? It's a raucous. Okay. Raucous. Raucous. Yeah. Wow. I can read. Teen pandemonium to expect when you zapped into the lair of your nemesis to throw down. Which is why you were completely blindsided when, upon feeling overwhelmed by the melee, Caliborn sprung his gambit on you and your three best friends to even the odds. Raucous, thank you. He opened his little red chest, and out came his white, house-shaped juju, levitating there, threatening to behave as the weapon many treasure hunters throughout history have described it to be. Upon a second look, it's not quite white though. It's colorless, null, a house-shaped hole in your confining reality, a hole that insists on being filled. You try to resist its overwhelming pull, but to no avail. The force is too strong, not like the sucking from the vacuum of space or the tug from a gravitational singularity. It was more overpowering than any force in nature, almost metatextual, not negotiating your powers, your strength to resist, so much as it seemed to overwrite them. The juju sucked you, Rose, Dave, and Jade into its void at the speed of eternity squashed down to a half second. You landed in the abstract prison it contains, face first, alone, and with a force that made you flip over a few times and skid along by the flat of your chin. You groped for your glasses instinctively, finding them in two cracked halves. You cradled their remains as you looked up. The blurry, distorted face of your laughing nemesis was the last thing you saw before the chest door slammed shut and plunged you into textual obsolescence. Ah, yeah. Ah. And here you are now stuck. Homestuck. You will not emerge from this holding cell. From an outside perspective, for quadrillions of years, it is not long at all until you begin to wish you had brought something to read. Okay. Damn. GGG no re. Oh, we're back at the. Okay. Instantly. Oh. Okay. Eternity squash. Interesting. If I can trust that, but damn, okay. It's a long time. Does Dirk still do something at the end then? Somehow? Hmm. Jane Crocker sweeps into her office with grace befitting her station and slams the door shut behind her. The sun cuts through her Venetin? V- Vein? Vanity? Let's look this one up too. Oh my god. Um, Vanish? Vanish? Vanish. Thank you. Vanish blinds, painting butter yellow strips of light all the way from one end of her impeccably tailored office to the other. It's a lovely day, like most days, so not terribly remarkable, except for the horrid news that she has just received at her customary morning press conference. Jane comes to a brisk stop alongside one of her floor to ceiling windows, which span a full 2/3 of her office, and brushes her hands over her hips to smooth the wrinkles out of her powdered blue pencil skirt. Then she hems, haws, puffs out her cheeks, and takes a very deep breath before snatching a pillow off the nearest couch so that she can scream into it. Hmm. There are, surely, a multitude of ways for a person to find out that an acquaintance is running against you in a presidential election. From a Carpathian reporter in front of 26 other members of the interspecies press was not the was not the method Jane would have personally chosen. She's certain that she retained her poise and managed not to look too shocked at the news. She did not exclaim, "What?" but instead managed to eke out through gritted teeth and pursed lips, reasonably the thoughtful sounding, "Hmm." Jane pouting. Uh, she cannot believe that Carcat would do this to her. This is no longer a political fiat, which the election would surely have been had she been uncontested by any other civil- civilization founding celebrities, but rather a battle between friends. What did Vantis think he was doing? No, no, it's not Vantis, Jane realizes. This could not have possibly been Carcat's idea. Jane knows Carcat. Oh. Jane knows Carcat. Not intimately, or even casually, but well enough to have made a generalized assessment of his basic character over the years. He is not cut out for politics, neither intellectually nor in the very important matter of social constitution. Certainly not when it comes to economic policy. In fact, Jane is pretty sure that Carcat Vantis would probably literally burst into flames if too many people happened to look at him at the same time, like a vampire walking out of the sun. But wait. Jane lowers the pillow from her face and stares at her brass and glass Art Deco ceiling. Was that vampire thing xenophobic against Kanaya? Or whatever it was that Kanaya was supposed to be? No, of course not, she assures herself. With trolls, it was the other way around. Vampires were the only members of their species who didn't balk at the sunlight. Another reason Karkat would make a poor president, unless he ran as the night president? No, the idea is foolish. Best not to give him any ideas. There can only be one president. Jump scare 3. No, surely this must have been Dave's idea. The kind of plot hatched from their little nest of mutually supportive, codependent interspecies, whatever it was they had going on over there. Dave was certainly no Dirk Strider, no Rose Lalonde, no Roxy. But he had the same scheming gene, buried deep beneath his transparent onion layers of posturing and, frankly, rather outdated humor. An instinct to plan, and despite being inarguably the dimmest of his family's impressive ectobiological stock, um, I mean, she's not lying there though. She's not lying in that statement. Just, oh dear, stock. That's likely a problematic word, isn't it? Jane thinks. She crosses it off her mental list of appropriate words to say during a press conference. She returns to her train of thought. Despite being the least mentally gifted member of his family, Dave has always had an awful lot of opinions on the economy. In fact, Jane cannot remember a single conversation she's ever had with him that wasn't about the economy. She thinks back to one time at John's 18th birthday when Dave engaged her in a rigorous and rather one sided debate about deregulation and the failure of neo-liberty austerity measures until Karkat had to come over and put his hands over his roommate's mouth to make him stop talking. Come to think of it, of the few direct interactions with Karkat she's ever had, this struck her as truly a great act of benevolence towards the common good. Maybe he would make a good president. Hottest heart, Harleg Banglocker. Hi, I'm not late today. No, she cannot succumb to such thoughts of weakness. She will not. Jane tosses the pillow back onto the couch and begins pacing the length of her office. This really was a disaster. She knew that she was solid on several demographic metrics. The human one, most certainly, and the well to do Care Pacing district. But Karkat was incredibly popular in the Troll Kingdom, obviously, and the Care Pacians were widely known to be swayed by underdog populism. And the consorts? Who had even given them the right to vote in the first place? In any other year? Jane hops up to sit on her desk and kicks off both her shoes. She picks up a pen and begins to chew the end to bits to stop herself from doing the same to her lower lip. In any other year, this wouldn't be a problem. She'd be happy to accept a graceful temporary defeat and let Karkat play president for a couple of years. After all, unlike her, he was not immortal, but Earthsea's paper-thin idyllic history was very close to a boiling point. Its very first boiling point, in fact, which will have everything to do with the problematic nature of troll reproduction. The first generation of natural-born trolls obviously cannot be entrusted to a troll, which was obviously not a xenophobic thing to think. It was just realistic. The citizens of Earthsea were able to rest easy knowing that the government held careful reign over over matters of equity. No one could possibly trust something so important to a troll, knowing that what everyone knew about their violent history. Losing this election could mean social unrest, protests, even war. Jane presses her eyes shut and runs her fingers along the fine-grained patterns in her mahogany paneled desk. She's about to think something that she has promised herself to never think again. In fact, she's about to say it, this horrible, ghoulish, girlish thought that used to rule her world and make her so terribly weak. The shameful thought is expressive of a loud form of defeated sigh. Uh, oh. Hmm. 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 I need Jake. I need Jake. Good enough. She spins around and, still sitting on her desk, presses a familiar entry on her phone's contact list. Jane went straight from an isolated homeschooled life to running a business and politics without truly receiving the proper education to understand any of it. Hmm. Jake. Ahoy. Hmm. Ahoy, ahoy. uh, Jane has to suck in a hard breath to stop herself from groaning. Why were so many of the finest young minds on this planet slaves to this foolish man's perky glutes? Uh, Finest minds, slaves to this man's perky glutes? Sounding like Karkat. Maybe Karkat is the finest mind. Hmm. Jake, hello, how are you doing? As well as can be, I suppose, considering that I just woke up in the middle of a m- muff- muff- mufficking ruckus at the stadium after getting beamed in the pumper with the old horse tranquilizer trick. The old horse tranquilizer trick. Of course, of course. Which I suppose I should have seen coming, as Dirk has ended all of our matches in this fashion for the past week. Oh dear. That sounds absolutely terrible, Jake. Is there anything I can do to help? Help? Gazooks, woman. I hardly think myself in need of help. It's a jolly good adventure working with someone so predictably unpredictable as our good friend Dirk. Uh, you would think that Jake enjoyed this subtle masochistic, sadomasochistic nature of his and Dirk's personal and professional relationships. Judging from the last conversation about election strategy with Dirk, he seems to be perfectly aware of this feature of Jake's personality. You can't be too nice when courting his endorsement. Dirk would say he doesn't respond to nice. Be that as it may, Jake, I still do worry about you an awful lot. Well, that is. On Jake's end of the line, there's a crash, followed by a noise that sounds suspiciously like, suspiciously like something big and hollow and metal connecting with Jane's head. When Jake comes back to the phone, he's yelling to it. Jane grimaces. Very sweet of you, Jane. I appreciate very much that you have called me out of the blue to say such nice things with me with no ulterior motive. Ah. Hmm. Hmm. From anyone else, this would have been a portentous statement. However, Jane knows that Jake English could not have possibly meant this with anything but the utmost sincerity. Well, 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 you know that because I must note that although I try to stay sporting about what comes at me, I can't say that am chuffed about about how much of my correspondence lately has to do with the marketing of my image. It's beginning to feel like all people want from me is to stick my dairy, what? I'm a I know like 5 words in the English dictionary, man. Derriere, 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 derriere. I'm gonna say air. I think it's derriere. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Ba-ba-da-da-boo. It's beginning to feel like all people want from me is to stick my derriere on a signpost for their own profit. Oh, oh, Jake, you're right. It must be so difficult for you more than the rest of us due to your, let's say, natural gifts. Uh huh. But you know that I have always wanted to what's best for you, right? And I am ready to give that to you. To give me what? The best, Jake. The very best. Jake is quiet a moment, and Jane can hear the rusty gears turning in his head. You should stop by and see me this evening. Do you mean my evening or yours? We're in different time zones right now, and I dare say that the sun just went down here. So if you wanted to have a soiree, ah, on my time, you've missed your chance. Jane feels her fake smile flexing so hard, it was beginning to hurt. Oh, yes, She loved this man in basically every category that you could possibly love a person. But sometimes talking to him is like trying to build a house of cards while riding a mechanical bull. Mine, of course. I'll have the best year of your favorite crocodile made scotch flown in from the consort kingdom, and we'll have a little ketchup. Jake actually hates scotch and only drinks it for appearance's sake, but for this unbelievably pivotal moment in the history of the planet that they created with their bare hands, Jane is willing to spend a few thousand boon bucks to watch her old friend pretend to sip at the same glass for a couple of hours while prattling on. And she's willing to do more than that, too. When's the last time we've done that? Just you and I. You know what? You're quite right. It's been a spell since we've met up without Dirk. An unforgettably long one at that. Whip me up a kipper, Jane. I'll be over promptly. A kipper? She's considering asking if he intended to request that she literally prepare a fish for his arrival. But of course, Jake has already hung up. With a heavy and somewhat regretful sigh, Jane sets up her phone down on the desk while she thinks, "That's that. Time to get to your work. Time to get to your work. Time to work your magic, Crocker." Like I have that this conversation after eating candy has me in that Punisher gif going no 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 and like I don't think anything's gonna happen, but maybe I don't know. It's ruining me a little bit. Oh man, no way, no way, no way, right? No way. Oh, I'm frozen. Ah, yeah, no way, no way, no way. Right, 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 right. No, 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 no. One of these sides have to make Jane a more likable person. So it can't happen on this side. It can't. It absolutely can't. You can't have me full. You can't have me have no chance of defending Jane Crocker. No, not like this. Not like this. Oh my. I can still refer to only the Homestuck text to defend Jane Crocker, right? Yeah, yeah. Because everything after Homestuck's technically not Homestuck. So I still have an avenue to to say Jane's the best girl in Homestuck, because that's a true statement in Homestuck, right? Like in this, Jane, like absolutely the best girl in this contained story of Homestuck right here. Absolutely, they worry me. They worry me. So what's Doc Scratch says something about things that happen and whatchamacallit like to happen. Scared. It's not gonna be these two though. It's probably gonna go to what would we go to next? We probably want to go back to the guy. Would we go back? Probably be Dirk and Rose. Uh, Chapter 11. It's dubiously canon, a very liberating concept that protects against character assassination. Yes, yes. It just comes across to you as a creep in meat so far. LOL. She's just she's misunderstood and has some issues with um what it means to protect everything or something. I don't know. Something like that. I don't know. Equity. She keeps saying equity. Yeah, yeah. Shit. Uh, that's that. You think your glasses are broken forever, and you totally fucked up that underestimated young Lord English. Rose should have known better than to trust this to you alone. Rose, Rose, you're smart, amazing friend, Rose. You can almost hear her voice now. Diplomatic ability to do character assassination for the fan fiction purposes. Listen closer, jackass. Oh, wait. You do hear her voice, vibrating low and muted through the wall of your cell. You've only realized right now that your cell has walls because it's awfully bright in here. It's so white that nothing in the cell is casting a shadow. Looking around, you realize there is no apparent source to all this bright light, making it hard to tell where the floor ends and the walls begin. Oh my god, it's Rose. Oh my god. Oh wait, hold on. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Give me a quick second. Give me a moment. Yes, yes. She's like a child to not wear parents, not a grown up shoes. Oh. Okay, I'm unmuting. Okay, now I'll mute on Discord right now. Okay. I'm back. Oh my god. Hmm. 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 Rose. Rose. John, are you there? Her voice is muffled, coming from what you presume to be an adjacent room similar to yours on the other side of the wall.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, thank goodness. Everyone's accounted for then. Are you okay?
What?
Are you okay?
I think so. I can barely hear you though.
You can hear a thud from Rose's corner, like someone slumping against the wall in relief. Well, that's what you're doing at least.
Eh?
Thank you. Oh my god.
I swear could this day
Oh, that's kinda
possibly
loud.
get any stupider?
Dun, dun. Fuck, I love this guy and that guy. You're a meshy.
Hey, Kuwabara, you're conscious. I'm not used to that.
That was cheap shot last time. You're a meshy. Good enough. Yeah, I'm fine too, but this is kind of dorky to say out loud, but I don't feel time. That's just not right. You guys feel it too or don't?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously space inside this box, but I can't do anything. It's like I'm blind.
The noise outside the juju grows. Something sharp and metallic splinters above and rains down on the top of the chest. What did my future self say it was we had to do?
She never really.
What?
She.
I can't hear. You're a meshy. I can't hear you.
She never really told us what we had to do exactly. Just what was going to happen in a really loose sort of fashion.
Does that mean we're stuck? The metallic noises rain down harder, drowning out Rose's attempt at being loud. Plink, plink, smash.
Now I can't hear you.
Try using less words.
The length of the silence coming from Rose's corner communicates just how difficult a task is for her.
See, she said that Juju would get loaded and unloaded.
What?
So, I mean, it just got loaded, I think. With us.
So?
So I don't think we're trapped in here forever. We'll be unloaded from it at some point.
What?
I know it's all a bit abstract, but
No, I just can't hear you.
Uh, hmm. John, you're a meshy, John. You suck at yelling.
ugh.
Damn, it's gonna be that dead Jade or something weird like that. You stop trying to loudly reassure the worried teens for a moment and just think. Now you understand defeating Lord English was never supposed to happen. Not the way adult Rose was implying it would. You surmise the other 4 teens remaining outside the Juju were the ones meant to be tasked with his defeat. And judging from the cacophony of emanating from the emanating from beyond the walls of this house and its confining chest, they are taking the task seriously. But what does this mean for the 4 of you? You try to picture what's going on in the battle outside, but it's not easy. Sorry for that, everybody. Use your imagination. In your imagination, the battle is quite vivid and exciting. The coolness of your action in your mind's eyes belied by the actual sound of effects booming all around you, which you can only describe as vaguely stupid. There's a lot of hysterical screaming, which if you're not mistaken, it comes exclusively from the male combatants. There's a sudden swelling of energy that speaks to a vastness behind its power source, almost as if an outrageous bubble of pure hope were enveloping the stage. Is how you would describe it if you didn't mind sounding ridiculous. Then you hear, it can't be horses? No, not simple horses of flesh and bone. These horses are metal. If we're to believe they're horses at all, stop using your imagination. This isn't getting you anywhere, and clearly your silly imaginative whims aren't doing the slightest bit of justice to the actual awesome things taking place out there in the heat of battle. Frankly, your theorized skirmish lost the handle on any legitimacy it might have had the moment you started thinking about horses. You figure no one will ever truly know what's happening out there. You doubt anyone would even be able to handle how incredible the raw, unfiltered account of this teen brawl actually was. So it's probably for the best. As you slip out of your fanciful conjecture, which may or may not have included a mechanical horse ambush, you overhear Dave from one of the rooms below you, raising his voice to speak to either you or someone else. You're not sure. You place your ears onto the floor again. He's speaking to Jade. They're attempting to reminisce again, to the best of their ability to do so while shouting through a wall. Once more, you ruefully reflect on these teen versions of your friends. And all of the questions they must have for you, for each other. What would you even say to them? Would you want to tell them about the happy outcomes, knowing they might never get the chance to experience those things for themselves? Would you tell them the sad outcomes, thus reinforcing their insecurities and suspicions that they may never truly be capable of living happy lives? You're not even sure you could handle it if you were teen John. You'd have too many follow-up questions, which adult John is in no way prepared to answer. Would you tell them what's up with Roxy and Calliope again, having no real grasp yourself over what's up with them? Would you tell them Dave and Carcat, live in a hive together watching TV all day? And Jade maybe kinda sorta lives there too, but nobody quite knows what's really going on with that? Would you tell them about Terezi? For some reason, her name feels like nails in your hearts. Makes sense, you guess, because there's a lot of sharp letters in it. She had sharp teeth too, and sharp elbows, sharp words. Terezi Pyrup was a sharp girl. And maybe what these sharp feelings are trying to tell you is you miss her more than you realized. She wouldn't have let you neglect relationships with certain friends for so long that you missed whole chapters of their lives. She wouldn't have put up with your moping around with the salamanders for so long. She would have kicked your ass for being such a loser about everything. She would have poked you in the forehead and called you lame and told you to pick up the damn phone. You would have called her a weirdo and pretended you hated it. And maybe you would even have believed you hated it. But now, sitting here in this little white cubicle, contemplating your regrets, you don't think you'd have hated it much at all. What would you tell the teens that? Would you tell the teens that? You'd probably never tell anyone that, not even her. Another arbitrary thought hits your brain, completely unrelated to the subject of Terezi, or what you would or wouldn't tell a bunch of incarcerated teens, or so you think.
Am I depressed?
You ask aloud, quietly enough that your friends cannot possibly hear it. All the question does is crawl back down your throat and burrow into your gut like it lives there. And it does live there, because as it turns out, you are really fucking depressed. You're just a giant, wet meat sack of self-involved misery. And all that big, wet meat ooze drips out of your mouth every time you open it. All the time and space in the world isn't making it better. It's something you should have been doing for yourself instead of waiting around for things to get better. Well, screw waiting. It's boring as hell. You are John Egbert, after all, immortal, creator of worlds, the one and only man ever to completely transcend the partitions of canon itself. You've got these powers, remember? You hold up your hands and form a rectangle with your fingers and reach outside yourself, outside canon, to place your retcon powers to the place your retcon powers come from. You focus, you strain, you contemplate with all your might a place you can zap to, any place but here. You wait, and wait, and wait, and nothing happens. You slump back down against the wall, and your despondents eagerly greet you again, like an old friend ready to pat you on the back and say, "Good try, man. I'll always be here for you when you fail. Thanks, dude. You were right."
Rose, was that right?
What?
The Juju has to unload?
The what has to what?
The only way out of here is for us to wait for someone to let us out. Sorry, guys.
Oh.
Also, I think I might have depression.
Fucking had to repeat himself. Let them know L. John can't do it in here. Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay. We're back to the economy and shit. Yes. You're a meshy. You're a meshy. So we gotta hit Jane right in her neoliberal austerity measures. We're all agreed on that, right? Uh-huh.
Yeah, sure.
Now she's gonna spin some shit about supply side economics, but we can't let her control the narrative on that one, cuz the first thing that's gonna happen once she begins deregulating the baking industry is that some sweet dumb crocodile down in the concert land is gonna start putting sparkle glue in the cupcake mix, which isn't even the real issue. That's just surface issues. Right.
Definitely.
I mean, Earthsea has just been play acting capitalism the last 5,000 years, while we time skipped ahead to live rad lives as gods without bothering with any of the boring shit that goes into making a civilization. Which is fine, I mean, you can't really expect a bunch of teens who didn't finish middle school to set up a sustainable form of social democracy that isn't just blatantly ripped off of whatever we incorrectly thought Obama, God rest his soul, was doing back in the day. But Jane's got this old school mentality. You just know she wants to restrict grist alchemy for the sake of growth. And when that goes down, it'll take 3 seconds flat for some nobody in New Durstown to drop the Earthsea Communist Manifesto. At which point, we're in for a speedrun of either our 20th century or her 21st century. We're gonna glitch under the map straight from Marx to clown dictatorship. Which also isn't the real issue. Oh, yeah? Yeah.
Of course.
Are you two even listening? Or are you just making noise with your mouths? How dare you? I can't believe I'm being accused by Dave Strider, reigning emperor of spewing endless verbal diarrhea directly into my innocent ear ducts every day of my fucking life, of making thoughtless mouth noises. Jade, are you hearing this?
I'm scandalized, especially when there are much better things we could all be doing with our mouths.
she really just like threw that out there. Fucking shoot your shot, I guess. Shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. It's been a really nice day they've been having, and then Jade had to go say something like that. The air in the hive changes in a way that is palpable, in a way that she can't seem to accurately gauge despite having both superhuman and superdog senses. She's lying on her stomach on the floor, chin in her palms, glasses slid down to the tip of her nose, kicking her legs in the air. Elements of her outfit resemble her god-tier jammies, peasant skirt, sparkling flats, and a bold choice of striped tights. Her tail swishes from side to side, showing way too much of her thigh, which isn't really all that salicious. Salicious? Yeah, considering 3 of her bras are thrown over the back of the couch where she'd crashed last night. The night before that, and the better part of the 7 years before that. There are other personal effects of her in the living room too. Plants on the windowsill, her bass guitar sitting in a corner, a horrific looking periodic table. I was like, my brain stopped working for a second there. That Dave made her for her 17th birthday pinned above the stairwell. He typed in Comic Sans and then deep fried it to oblivion with JPEG artifacts. Everyone in this room knows each other way too well, so what happens next goes a little like clockwork. Says Carcat for like 30. Oh shit, that wasn't okay. Okay, wait. I need a timer. They got it timed on this one. Timer. Thank you. Okay, you're right. Okay. Don't hurt me. Says Karkat for like 30 seconds straight as he retreats into the bulk of his sweater. He scoots a half foot to put his back against the couch when Jade pushes her glasses up to the bridge of her nose and looks at him. And Dave, with his paternally? I can't think. Yeah, perfect timing. Sweeps a hand over his tablet to bring up a new PowerPoint slide on the TV. He returns to his Comic Sans written political presentation, gruesome artifacts and all, with the grace and proficiency of a man who has diffused an awkward situation in his own household many times per day, every day, for many years. You're a meshy. Anyway, we all know the real issue is troll reproduction. This election season is gonna be so jacked up with dog whistles Jade will never sleep again.
Woof.
Yo, get ready for the top propaganda hits of the year. Alternia, brutal eugenics-based space dictatorship. Not true. Not true. Yeah. Troll, Homeworld, Lord of the Flies nightmare scenario where kids murder each other just to get the chance to get to grow up and murder the other aliens instead. It wasn't that bad. Actual names and professions on Alternia. The Executioner, Legislator Raider, yeah. Minister of sucking the eyeballs out of your fucking skull, then putting my two monstrous HR Geiger? Tier troll dicks up in there and just mashing the shit out of your brain with them. Okay. You made up that last one. Also, it was disgusting. Grow the fuck up, you utterly contemptible potty mouthed cunt. Oh my. Whoa.
Also, you know trolls don't actually have two dicks, Dave. That's an offensive stereotype.
Damn, she said that. You're a meshy. I know that's the point. Keep up, guys. Ready for another one. Trolls. Literally 8 babies. Only the defective ones. Like you, my dude. Yeah. So that's why our campaign can work. BTW, I'm gonna be given a long form exam at the end of this to make sure you're attaining info because this is only like the most important thing we've ever done collectively.
Sigh.
Aside from creating the universe, I mean.
It's not that it isn't important, Dave. It's that, like, the method you're using to communicate is kinda inefficient and boring.
You mean words?
I mean, your words specifically. We already understand the issues at play. You don't have to explain it to us over and over again like we're 12. Right, Carcat?
Are you asking me whether I've heard this exact speech? Almost word for word, including rehearsed versions of both the colorful metaphors and jokes 10 or 20 times already, because the answer would be yes, of course I fucking have. Obviously, only Slugs has to because of his gimmick. There's probably a few more. This does good. It's gonna hear exact speech. Carcat elbows Dave in the thighs, a move that is obviously meant to be an action of pure brotherly jest, but instead it comes off as an affectionate and overly intimate. Jade's clever eyes don't miss this. Her pupils follow the motion of Carcat's arm, and then they follow the movement of Dave's mouth as he smiles in what he probably thinks is a totally neutral expression that reveals exactly 0% of his true feelings towards Carcat Vantis. In reality, this veneer is as thin and transparent as a cellophane. He is the only person who can't see through it. Jade does some calculations in her head. 2 kinds of calculations, in fact, mathematical ones and personal ones.
So, do you want a projection of her first year's hit on the economy down to the decimal with a 0.3% margin of error? Because that's a thing I can do if it'll make you stop talking about this stupid election for 10 minutes.
Damn, hit me up, girl calculator.
I don't think you're wrong about Jane's plans.
She proceeds to dazzle the 2 boys with explications on complex math utilizing taxation rates, GDP figures, and some damn thing called the Laffer curve, which she easily could have just invented to own them both. But the truth is, she cares too deeply for these boys to fabricate silly-sounding economic models on the spot in order to make them seem foolish in front of the camera later. The thing about Jade Harley is that she's not as good at personal things as she is at other things, like science, or mastering fray motifs, or kissing, the last of which she has definitely put a lot of levels into the over the past few years. Damn. What's it go? Damn, wait. Damn. I'm fumbling. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember what the quote is. Is my XP bar low? Is that what is that the thing? Is that the trendy quote right now? Um, I can't think. Well, the moment's gone. Da, 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 da. Few years because, well, what else are you supposed to do with immortal godhood once you hit the age where the dog hormones start kicking into overdrive? She rolls over and hitches up on her palm so that she can stare her two friends down. Her high perception lens makes her eyes look anime huge. They might literally be glittering. She's so completely serious about the issues she is trying to stress.
So now that that's all out of the way, it's time to get real, you two.
I.
That wasn't an invitation for you to make a pun about having all the time in the world or whatever it was you were going to say.
Oh.
I'm about to lay out some cold, hard evidence, so pay attention.
Oh. Hang on. Let me get a pen.
Evidence about our relationship.
Fuck.
You let me live in your hive when I'm in town.
I can't believe
I'm pretty intimately entwined in both your lives.
that you're just talking about this.
And you don't disengage from about 86 and 234 thousandths of my flirtations.
You forgot the percent, man. Wait. Why the fuck would you keep track of something like that?
So, are we doing this or not?
Doing what?
Dating, dummy.
Oh, that is a complicated topic in my culture that I'm not sure humans are equipped to talk about. Also, totally unrelated to the economy, which not gonna lie is the only thing I want to talk about for however long it takes for this other conversation to stop happening.
So say no.
Well,
I'm not just forcing this conversation for my sake, it's for you two as well. I mean, after all this time, have you two even kissed yet?
what? Why would uh why would we kiss? That's 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 you. I mean, he's Dave. We and I'm Carcat.
Yes, he's Dave and you're Carcat, and everyone we know always calls you that. Dave and Carcat. I can't remember the last time I heard anyone mention one of you without the other. The two of you have basically been together since your days on the meteor. It's so obvious.
Together, yes, as friends. Yeah. Very hmm, very fair very close friends who understand and support each other on a deep and empathetic level that goes beyond hate or pity. You could even say that our relationship transcends quadrants.
Yeah, not gonna lie, Carcat, but that sounds totally kinda gay.
You humans and your unfathomable gender-based quadrants. Jade face palms. She does it a little too hard and slams the bridge of her glasses into her forehead.
Ow.
Anyway, weren't you dating that Carpacian couple last time we checked? Jade drags her hand down the bottom half of her face and sighs.
Yeah, for fun. I'm 23. Don't you think that's a little old to still be dating for fun?
Wait, you're a meshy wait. You're saying we aren't fun?
When's the last time either of you left the house?
Jade crawls and Jade signs and crawls closer. She takes one of Carquette's hands in hers.
I think we'd all work good together.
In her other hand, she tries to grab Dave's wrist, but he flash steps to the other side of the couch. She pouts at him and keeps holding Karkat's increasingly sweaty palm.
And I think we've been dancing around that for years now. I want to try dating for real.
Have you ever considered? Sorry for what I'm about to say. Totally blows your mind. Dating a single person for more than half a sweep for reasons other than initiating the con- concupiscent exchange of fluids. I can't never read. Jade's grip on Karkat's hand gets a little too tight, but her big toothed smile remains flawlessly pleasant. This is a common sort of exchange between them and could easily be considered flirtation on several different metrics, especially considering the history between them and the sheer level of black flirtation that Karkat accidentally indulged in during his insecure youth. He doesn't even pull his hand away.
Okay, first of all, don't slut shame me, fuck ass. Second of all, that's what I'm trying to do here. Third of all, Karkat, aren't you from a culture where people are expected to engage in romantic relationships with up to like 5 people at a time?
Yeah, it's kind of rude to say, low key. Uh, damn. Big tooth smile remains flawlessly pleasant. Uh, I'd fold. That's not the same thing at all.
Oh, yeah? Explain the fundamental epistemological difference.
What the fuck? You're a meshy. Okay, Jade, I think there's a flaw in your approach here, cuz you seem to think winning an argument on super clever logical grounds is gonna get a couple dudes to break down and fling themselves at you in like a sexual way.
Well, it usually does.
Doubt that. Oh my fucking god. This earns Dave a look, a long, sad one that Jade messes with her glasses again, that she can peer right at him and apply some more of that faulty personal math to his facial expression.
Dave,
What?
is this about Obama?
What? No,
Dave, are you in love with Obama?
Jade. Jesus, you're a meshy Jade. Jesus, where do you get this shit from?
Is it about Jesus then?
No, Jesus wasn't even real.
I know he wasn't real. Wait, are you saying Obama was real?
Sorry. Yes, Obama was real. He was the president.
All this time, I thought Obama was like an aspirational fictional character that you modeled your life after.
I can't breathe.
Like Snoop Dogg or Nicolas Cage.
Oh my god. This is fucking incredible. You're a meshy. They were both real too. I know that you grew up on an isolated island in the middle of nowhere and everything, but didn't you have like access to the internet?
Wow, well, I'm sorry I wasted my whole childhood filling my head with pointless things like astrophysics and centenary numeral systems that allow me to do complex equations in my head.
Oh, this is such a heavy cope too. That's such a heavy cope, man. Just it's too big of a cope. No, dude, that's kind of fucked up. Karkat, stop laughing. Jade's fucked up childhood isn't funny. Yes, it fucking is. Also, screw you for saying it's not funny. Why is it like some sort of tragedy? How was raised? Because she was raised alone by an animal? I was raised alone by an animal. Fuck off and let me enjoy this. Ah. Jade, you watched a movie with Nick Cage in it? Oh wait, no, the John died before that. Yeah, but she was also a big like, she was a big furry. She liked cartoons. It's implied she at least knows like. Does she think the Ghostbusters are fake? No. Karkat has finally pulled his hand away so that he can clutch his stomach. He's laughing so hard. Jade gets up and stalks over to where Dave is awkwardly cowering at the other end of the couch and snatches his tablet from him. The Ghostbusters are fake. It's a movie series. Yes, thank you, because that's what I meant. Sorry, yeah, I didn't know that. I thought they really did all that. Uh, the was it the Michelin? Was it the Michelin Tire Man? Or just a random marshmallow? I'm forgetting Ghostbusters. Okay, what's kind of evil is I remember Ghostbusters 2 a lot more than I remember Ghostbusters. And that hurts my soul. That hurts my soul. But that's because I'm with Zoomer. Yeah. There's a ripple in the room that makes it clear their god tier powers have just clashed against each other. He shifts his arm through time and Jade warps the space around them so that she's the one holding the tablet. This is not the first time they have rearranged the fabric of reality for a petty reason like this. Karkat has permanently sworn off playing board games with them. Oh, fucking evil. The moment Jade brings the paint program up on the television, Karkat stops laughing. No. He tries to grab the tablet from her, but she's hovering well above the ground and he simply is not tall enough to reach. With a shit-eating grin and deliberate care, Jade begins to draw a grid.
I'll put this in terms Karkat will appreciate. Check it out.
Jade, I swear to God. Karkat jumps and tries to grab her skirt, but she swims through the air with ease, giggling as she doodles. You better not be drawing what I think you're drawing. Her artistic skills, even at the advanced age of 23, still leaves something to be desired. Damn. But it's pretty easy to produce recognizable caricatures of the three people in the room right now. She gives Karkat a pair of fuzzy, angry eyebrows and starts drawing other lines, sinister lines, with salacious meaning. It's exactly what Karkat fears. A shipping grid. Stop. Cease. Desist this moment. Do not draw one more line.
Oh no, I'm drawing a line, Karkat. Better stop me before it goes all the way from my mouth to yours.
Karkat catches the back of her shirt and she goes plummeting weightlessly to the floor. Still laughing, Karkat tries to wrestle the pen out of her hand, but all he accomplishes is turning the red drum trajectory between her and Dave into a red drum loop-de-loop.
See, me and Karkat have great black chemistry.
It is not black chemistry, you horrid chitinous windbag. Oh. Karkat and Jade and Karkat roll over each other on the floor, and he gets a mouthful of her hair for his troubles. Jade comes out on top and sits on his back, humming to herself as she crafts her grand design.
And now that Dave's all chill, he'd make a great auspicious.
She says, cheerful and oblivious, no.
Because you and Karkat are kind of like moirails.
No.
And you and I, well, you know, it's always been pretty flirty.
Jade.
Except
Jade finishes drawing a shaky heart directly into the paint program. It's so big and bright on the TV that it fills the entire room with red lights. Karkat raises his face and stares at it, utterly bereft, or in utterly bereft horror. The sick lights make the bags under his eyes look like divots.
in this model, troll quadrants are dumb, so we all kiss. I call this political arrangement fully automated luxury polyamorous space-time communism.
Okay. No one reacts. Karkat is defeated completely. Dave has crossed his arms and pressed his mouth into a thinner line than usual. Jade's ears flatten and she huffs. Sounds like It sounds a late. It sounds a little like a dog whining.
Oh, come on, that was a good one. It's politically relevant and everything.
Jade, I'm not gonna laugh at your made up ship name for this imaginary threesome. That's not happening. Jade rolls her eyes and tosses both the tablet and the pen over her shoulder. Dave flashes across the living room to catch his very expensive computing device in both arms. The pen bounces off his forehead. Jade dismounts from Karkat's poor, abused, terribly mortal spine and brushes down her skirts.
Well, I've said what I wanted to say. It's up to you two what you do with it. I have to go talk to Roxy and Callie about the election anyway. Call me when you two figure it all out.
Jade clicks her heels together and propels herself back into the air, and actually winks at them before absconding through an open window. He's attempting to force these should just make it happy later. She has to push the thick curtains aside to do so. Karkat hisses when the light spills over his face. What Jade leaves in her wake is not quite the emotional scorched earth situation that she was going for, but a few of her needles have definitely gotten under some skin. Oh. Dave and Karkat both stare after her, silently caught in their own private rationalization spirals. Karkat needs to verbalize part of his out loud. Wow, what a crazy and totally improbable conversation we just had with our best friend Jade. You're a yeah. What a good thing for us that she's totally delusional and has no idea what she's talking about, huh? For sure. Dave offers Karkat a hand up from the floor. When their palms connect, there's a moment where something could happen. A little spark of potential. It would be so very easy for something to happen. Want to play some Troll Tony Hawk? Hell yeah. uh, huh? Oh, wow. That's the first thing I read. Damn. Damn. Oh, so is this where we get to see her fall? Or at least lead up to the point, maybe? Or she, like, gets into, like, everything? Be John again. It seems as if you're attempting to be John again, with the expectation that we might spend a little more quality time with him in his cubicle of misery and self-loathing. You guessed we might really start to unpack his depression issues, get to the bottom of all that. Well, nice try. John can't be here right now, because he's stuck somewhere in the harrowing nexus between canon, post-canon, non-canon, outside canon, and fanon. He also can't be here right now because, for the time being, we're done wasting our breath on such a sad loser. It's well overdue for the true hero of this tale to take center stage. Be Vriska. Lord English stands before you in all his time-eating, universe-ending glory. You've rode in here like a total badass, and now you're presiding over a whole host of ghosts ready to throw themselves one more time into the maw of this final battle. Hell, you are the tide. This whole thing would have been pretty dismal if you hadn't shown up with the treasure chest containing the ultimate weapon, not to mention your flawless defeat of an obstructionist, hectoring, orange man who for some reason he cannot begin to comprehend seemed to be obsessed with you. Man, I'm like this. This man knew what was up though. He knew what was up. Yeah. Oh, finally, Vriska. Surely this will go well. Wow. Vriska being here means the stream's going well in my heart. So that's what. So it did go well already. We have already executed what is probably the most important tactical maneuver ever performed by a hero in the history of heroism. You deployed the white, house shaped juju from the red chest. It grew to an enormous size, slammed down on whatever was passing for the floor in this esoteric battle environment, and a door materialized on its surface. You now stand off to the side, looking especially pleased with yourself, waiting for the legendary weapon to unload itself toward the hulking tyrant. You've now got two bitches of either gender at your side. Your main goal. Your main girl, Mina, who you stole from that embarrassing past version of yourself that you owe so hard. Okay. That you owed so hard, you bet she's probably still crying. And Tavros, not to mention, not just any random ghost copy of Tavros, of which there appear to be thousands, your Tavros specifically, who's been pathetically trailing after you like a lost Barkby since you showed up. You'd be hard pressed to describe what's happening right now. If they sent a poet, maybe he'd do a better job of it. But they sent someone who's actually useful instead. So you'll give it a shot. It looks to you like the complete obliteration of space and time, and the end of all things, the disintegration of literally thousands of ghosts. And no doubt your admirers out there would love it if you described it all in painstaking detail. But you're not an executionist. You just call it like you see it. And what you're seeing right now is pretty awesome. Observe, Lord English. Kind of an overworked character design, you think to yourself. If someone showed you a drawing like this on their FLARP sheet, you'd probably be obligated to immediately kick their ass. There's a lot going on, from his vein popping muscles to his 8-ball eyes to his pirate leg and his ostentatiously bright gold pimp cane. Years ago, you brutally criticized Terezi for adding a dragon head staff to her Red Glare cosplay. The argument that ensued was so bad she didn't talk to you for an entire week. Now that you're seeing this, well, you wouldn't apologize to her, obviously. But in retrospect, maybe her accessorizing wasn't so bad. At least she understood the basics of having a simplified silhouette. Ugh, Mina? Wow. I'm going back, Finn. You coming, Vriss? Of course. But give me a minute, I want to see. Mina gives you a grin and a salute and leaves you to it. This is what you always felt you were destined for. Somehow, standing at the end of the universe and seeing how it all goes down. Tavros is clinging to your arm like a little crybaby, while crying, you assume, and probably soiling his dumb little pair of shorts. But not you. You're fearless. Your eyes are so wide that it feels like you're eating all the light through them. That's what you are, after all, the thief of light. You crane back your neck and watch Lord English put a crack in reality. It's beautiful. You thought maybe he'd do something stupid, like punch the sky with his gross throbbing muscle arm? But all it takes for him to shatter the roof of existence is a single ear-splitting roar. Around him, the ghost army scatters. Tavros flinches and hides his face in your shoulder, and probably pisses himself again for good measure. But you get smashed in the head. It was so fast and dark you didn't see it. The shard of space-time that split off from above and hurtled towards you. Your body rocks back, whiplash fast, and you nearly keel over. You're still standing, though, and laughing. That's what you were doing when Lord English put a split in the fabric of reality. You were laughing, not crying. It doesn't hurt at all. Vriska, Vriska, are you okay? I've lost it. Shut up! I'm. You stagger back and put a hand to your head wound. Your eyes spin, all 8 of them. It's not a big deal, though. Just a scratch. It's fine, fine, fine. Your hand comes away coated in thick blue. Your hair is soaked with it all the way down one side. Why is broken space time so sharp? Like splintered obsidian. Feels like it barely grazed you, and yet everything around you begins to spin, and you're not sure if you can't quite. A stream of blood begins to leak in under your glasses. Noise whirls around you. Lord English loses his shit. Ghosts shouting, moving. The broken glass sounds of ceiling of space splitting into hundreds of shards of potentiality. There's a hum beneath all of it. A deep, dark reverb. A black hole sucking everything in the dark maw of infinity. You wipe your bloody hand on your leg of your jean and sneer with rage. You didn't go down so easily. Tavros tries to steady you, but you slap his hand away. Fuck off. Okay, it looks really kinda extremely bad though. You're you're so intolerable. I need to Tavros, go find Miha. I now, Tavros. Tavros scurries off into the fray to find someone less worthless. You try to catch your bearings so that you won't miss a single instant of the battle, but you're distracted by something in the corner of your glasses. Your trolling alert is blinking. There's a message from Terezi. How long has that been there? Hours? Days? You suddenly wonder if it's been years from her perspective, waiting for you to respond, given how time moves differently out here. Were you too preoccupied with your incredible heroic exploits to notice? Focus, Circus. Circus. I'm calling her a clown in my head, I guess. Focus, Circuit. This is no time for sentimental thoughts. You need to get a grip. Keep your head in the game. Keep both feet planted firmly. Whoops. Your feet slip. Without Tavros to keep you steady, you lose balance and begin drifting. You try to regain your footing, but you realize you aren't in danger of falling over. That's not the problem. You can't seem to get your feet back on the floor. You feel light. You're floating. You flail your legs, scraping the tips of your shoes against the floor, but it's no use. You understand what's happening. It's the black hole. It's starting to lift you up. You glanced wild eyed towards the glowing juju. Its four chambers and peaked roof are pulsing with the energy of raw imminence. This is it. Everything you've been waiting for. Damn, she doesn't get to see it, huh? Oh, we heard. Whatever it is, it's about to happen. Where's Mina? You desperately try to stabilize yourself, slow your ascent, anchor yourself back to the floor in some way. Anyway, but there's nothing to grab onto. There's blood in your eyes, and your depth perception is fucked. Your hand goes wide, and your fingers close around empty spaces you reach impotently toward the glowing symbol of everything you've ever believed you were meant for. This can't be how it goes. As you continue to levitate, getting speed in the direction of the insatiable cosmic body, you can see your blood trailing behind you in wet, Krulian blobs. The juju glows brighter. You need to see what happens next. You need to see. You're so frantic, grasping for purchase in empty air that you aren't ready for it. Another black shard of space-time hurtling through the void. It collides with your chest right at the place where your ribcage connects and sends you spiraling even faster toward the deep, dark maw of infinity. A black hole is something not even a god tier player can survive, you suspect. And even if one could, you highly doubt there'd be any clawing your way out of its event horizon and back into relevance. Not this time. It's a fate worse than anything you can imagine. And as it truly sinks in, what happens to you? How is this ending? I mean, she kind of deserves what's about to happen to her. You know, in what ways, though? Like, it's face worse than anything you can imagine. It's And as it truly sinks in, what's happening to you, how this is ending for you, finally you lose all sense of composure. You flail, spin, and flip in helpless little circles like a bloody rag doll, and you begin to scream. Ah, damn. God, I love Vriska. But this Vriska's not as cool as the other Vriska. But they will do. It's like, that'll do, big. That'll do, you know? Just seeing the name fills me with enjoyment. She doesn't deserve to be Gamzee's Kismis for any amount of time. The rest of the punishment is fair. I don't know. I don't know. She needed that time with Gamzee. She needed that time that she crashed into camp. You know, so she's so there, she has a chance. Yes. John, emerge from the juju. The first thing you hear is a tiny scream getting sucked into oblivion. The voice is familiar, but not as familiar as the second thing you hear, which is a crack. It's not just a crack in your ears. This crack goes all the way down your spine. You almost don't react to it because it's so familiar around you. A cacophony rises up like steam. Oh shit, it's really popping off out here. Dave's voice reminds you that your teammates have emerged from the house along with you. You survey the group. Everyone is accounted for. 3 confused, frightened teenagers. You can't see anything but big, bright smears all along the horizon. You fish 2 halves of your broken glasses out of your pockets and hold them up to your face. The scene comes into focus. The eye of a storm. A black hole so massive it stretches as far as you can see. An army of ghosts swirling and screaming, whipping around you like leaves in the wind. At the center of it all is Lord English. Just like your dream. You can feel it now. The moment reality yawns too wide and snaps in half. This is the anime. Bop. Apple. Oh, that's where we stop then. Okay. Okay. That was? Okay, so what all happened? Jane finds a Carcat, does that, talks to Jake. Jake, then we're gonna meet up. Jade, Dave, Carcat have that fun conversation. Oh yeah, John's like, I'm depressed, guys. And he's like, I'm depressed again, guys. And then I ignore all of that. We meet Vriska again. And we love Vriska. Even if it's not the good, not even if it's not the better of the best, even if it's not the best of the best Vriska, it's still a Vriska. And a Vriska is better than no Vriska. But somehow 2 Vriska is kind of worse than just 1 Vriska. Most of what we knew happened is happening or has happened. Yeah. This is the only thing that happened, like, this is the only thing we knew how kind of would happen. The rest is kind of like, you know, if you're that, you're right. Because, like, who knows if it's going to be like the other one, kind of, right? Yeah, Versi and Vriska. What about? I think we could finish Meet Epilogue 2, but at that point it would be a sacrifice. We did finish Epilogue 2. Epilogue 2 was over. Epilogue 2's done. We finished it. That was it. That was Epilogue 2. Epilogue 2 is done. Yes, I know that went by very fast. It may be. It also did just go by fast. I still didn't make the bingo board. I'm sorry, world. Clown. Okay. I can. Yeah. That was it. That was the epilogue. Black 3. I can't. I gotta do Detective Pony. That's on the mind right now. Time then to make a pony investigate some 1920s crime. If you want. Black 3. Ah. Oh. Oh yeah, this is still my wallpaper. Oh. I have Detective Pony ready, don't I? Yeah, I do. It's right here. Is my hard drive broken? My files get fucked up? What is this? No. Detective Pony. We need you on Tumblr. Page 4, maybe? Oh. Oh, man. Page 3? Yes, because we were on missing. We left off at the ham. I believe this is where I left off at. I'm like 99% sure I left off at the ham. Dun, 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 dun. Did I only read it once or did I read it twice? I thought I only read it once, right? Yeah, just once. Yes. This is where I left off on the Dr. Pony. Not Doctor Detective Pony. I have Doctor Who stuck in my head right now. If Doctor Who pops up on my feed on YouTube or Twitter, I guess X, I'm like I am hooked. I'm back on the grind again. Thought the plan was to read and then watch the video book on your own. I haven't even seen all 15. Like Doctor Who. I love Doctor Who. That gets stuck in my mind. But I believe I left off on missing Detective Pony. So, time to start. Or grab a drink of water real quick. And Doctor 16 is coming up. I've only watched the Doctor Who up until before Peter Capaldi dies. Before his return, before he's not the Doctor. And apparently, right after that, the new showrunner runs the show in a semi disrespectful way to like the old stuff, but I don't know the whole deal. I hear bad stuff about it. But also my opinion's kind of bad. Don't matter anyways, because I think Matt Smith's the best Doctor in Doctor Who. Matt Smith is better than David Tennant. That's really what I want to say. It has at best 3 good episodes. The show is really bad. See, Peter Capaldi, and I really like Doctor Who. The Day of the Doctor, the 50th anniversary, was so cool. It was so cool. That like event felt awesome. What was it? I was at I at home? No, I was at my grandmother's house. in the basement watching Day of the Doctor on a small CRT TV because that's the only TV she had. And I was there with my brother, and it was fun just watching it. Like the whole build up, the first like pre-show, then the thing. It's really cool. It was a lot of fun. Then after the David Tennant era, 2 happened, which is the same showrunner for him. 15, 16 maybe. Okay. And then was it? I do know that like the David Tennant thing happens, and then when he's fighting the toy, fuck, the toy maker, I think, yeah. He like becomes 2 doctors. He splits off into 2 or something. And what else happens? The Doctor becomes like, I don't know, becomes a lot of stuff. Becomes like a different dimensional being from a different universe. And then, yeah. Detective Pony. Decoy serpent. Employable in many jinx. Both high and low. Well, the special is pretty good. Let's go. David and Donna are peak. Okay. Anyway, Detective Pony, yes. Missing. Dr. Crandall. What happens after? Okay, wait. Okay, what happened? What were we just talking? What had just happened in Dr. Pony? No, Detective Pony. Okay. It'll ring again on my head. I have like vague remembrance of it, but it's been a bit. Dr. Crandall. What happens after death? Are all of our sins tallied? Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, she died, right? Fuck, wait. Wait, who are the 3 kids again? Or 4? Who are the 3? It'll come up. It'll come up. It'll come up. Dr. Pony. Donna asked nervously. Every last Anna was the one that died. Thank you. Every last one, he said. He smiled at Anna. Pony told me that you discovered the fire, Anna. Pony told me that you discovered the fire, Anna. You just had to stick your fucking nose where it didn't belong, didn't you? If the clinic had burned down, I could have gotten a huge insurance check. Acorn is frightening me more and more each day, said Anna. He has secrets locked inside his mind that no mortal should know, and I have a feeling that he will soon unleash them. Then you're both abominations for the laws of man and God. Then you're both abominations of man and God, Pam whispered to herself. Anna looked around the office again. That's called Doctor Who's, actually. Doctor Who's, kind of a mid background character. Pretty, not even mid, kind of low tier, you know. Almost lower than Derpy Who's. Previously on Detective Pony. Anna looked around the office again. Was the cat hiding knowledge even more sinister and frightening than Acorn's? She still didn't see him. Where's the black cat that has been terrorizing us since this fateful morning, she said. Dr. Crandall looked around the office too. Isn't he here? He said, the panic rising in his voice. Pawnee came into the office. Her blood ran cold when she saw that Anna was alive once more. But not literally cold in the sense of reptile's blood. She could still thermoregulate with the best of them. Where's the black cat? Anna asked. Dr. Crandall got him out of the fire, Pawnee said, casting an uncertain glance at Pam. Pam mouthed, Later. Then what happened? Asked Anna. Pawnee thought for a second. Brandy started to admit of his many horrible crimes and murders, she said. I put the cat down and gagged Brandy. The time for confession is later. Trust me, I know what I'm doing. When I look back, the cat was gone. Anna felt the shiv that she kept in her pocket. Do you think the cat ran back into the fire? She asked Dr. Crandall. Like horses do? Dr. Crandall shook his head. No. He answered. No animal but a pony would be idiotic enough to do that. God damn, are ponies stupid. Good lord, fucking ponies. Pawnee pulled Pam aside as Anna and the doctor tended to pets. What the Christ-loving fuck happened to Anna? She whispered. I don't know, said Pam. She seems unchanged so far, but who knows what she brought back from the other side with her. Bum, bum, bum. One more thing, hissed Honey. But what you said earlier in the paddock. Pam licked her lips. Oh, so you are curious about the identity of your real father. Even in these dark times, Pam could not miss a chance to play mind games with the Indiana city that she called her friend. My father is Ron fucking Swanson, Pawnee said. And if you even try to suggest otherwise to me, I will dismantle you. Understand? Pam just smirked. She knew that the seed of doubt had been planted in Pawnee's mind, and it was soon to become a sprout of doubt, then a tree of doubt. For a seed, to be metaphorical or a literal one, has power. And what tremendous power it has. Oh, what tremendous power it is, Acorn, said the cat in its abdominal, soul-melting tones. But I command power too, the power of death, and I use that power to pluck Anna's life from this earth, like a speck of dandruff from the Sullivanly head. She died of a heart attack 20 minutes ago, Acorn. Ironically, it is the power of life. I will bring her back, but only if you make a deal with me. What sort of deal? Acorn asked hoarsely. Please take a moment to appreciate my pun. I put hours of work into it. You must simply agree to take a walk with me, that's all. Where will you lead me? Minos chuckled. Ah, well, that's the question, isn't it? You'll just have to wait to find out, although I'm sure you already know. When? When I call you, Acorn ruminated. Seeds symbolize life, yes. But they're also inextricably wound together with death, Acorn. The cat said, beating the seed metaphor to within an inch of its metaphorical life. Verily, verily, I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. John 5:24. Very clever, but neither the word nor the word can save you now. You know it's 12:24. You also know that it's the epigram of I don't know that one at all. Yes, Acorn, your life is more Karamazovian and more Dostoevskian. Dostoevskian. I've never really had to read the words aloud. For that matter, then its lives matter than the lives of most. I would assume yours as well. Well, tell me, Kat, which better describes your own life? I'm sure you'd like to know. Let's just say my are both. Acorn was silent for a brief moment. The galaxies of synapses and neurotransmitters that crackled in his Gothic cathedral of a brain churned and stewed in deepest contemplation. All right, he said at last. I've known that this day was coming, and I put it off long enough. I'll follow you, Minos. Don't pretend you're doing it for you or me, the cat said. You're doing it for her? Acorn said nothing. You're not even going to deny it. Maybe you have changed after all, but too late, but too little too late. I look forward to our walk. Goodbye, Acorn. Minos took a tiny pebble of shit and slinked it off to the black night. 10 minutes in the past, a dead girl's heart restarted, and she sat up in the snow. Acorn knew better than most that nothing comes without a cost. Anna tagged the mysterious punish for the father. Anna experimentally flexed the new robotic arm that Pan had whipped up for her. She would miss the sloth arm, but somehow having a mechanical left arm just felt right to her. After the pony pals cleared their web browser histories and cookies, they went back outside with the intention of finding and killing that damn cat. It was safe for the horses and ponies to go back in the barn. The girls led the ponies inside. licked off the snow, dried them off, and discussed their plans for dismantling the patriarchy. The whole time Anna was helping with the pony, she kept sharpening her dagger. For the cat, she didn't see him anywhere, nor did she see Acorn. But she didn't worry. She was used to acorns vanishing for weeks at a time and then suddenly returning covered in assorted whiskery and miscellaneous crore, crore, crore is such a good is a good word. She thought to herself as she absent-mindedly crushed a rock into fine sand with her robot hand. We have to sleep in my room, Pam told Pawnee and Anna, with a not at all subtle wink at the two of them. Oh, we can share my bed. Anna didn't care much for Pam's sexual advances. No matter how attractive Pam might be in the moonlight, her hair still flecked with ash, her eyes bright and sparkling, her lips half parted. Her dark skin looked so soft and strangely inviting, but no, not tonight's at least. Tomorrow she could search for the cat and explore the complexities of her developing adolescent sexuality. Anna was the first pony pal to wake up the next morning. She had terrible dreams, if they could even be called dreams. Oh, let me do that. Yeah, they be called dreams. Ever since she had died, everything was different. It felt as if, rather than returning to life from the other side, she had traveled straight through and come out the other end, returning full circle to her starting place, the other side of the other side. No one could possibly understand what it was like to awaken from that slumber that should have been eternal. This mockery of life, this half existence, really better than death? Anna whispered to herself as she gazed out the window at the falling snow, swirling a snifter of brandy with her robot hand. The other hand pressed longingly against the window pane, shape without form, shade without color, paralysis, paralyzed, forced, gesture without motion. She took a sip of her liquor, but not even spirits could give her temporary relief of oblivion that they once were able to offer. Perhaps because I have no spirit of my own, she thought. Anna swirled the brandy some more and observed the liquid's widening gyre. Gyre? She drained the glass and threw it against the wall, watching it fall apart. The center could not hold. Anna had no innocence to be drowned, and she was certainly full of passionate intensity. She welcomed the mere anarchy and bathed in the blood dimmed tide. She would deafen that fucking falcon herself if it came to that. Perhaps the long awaited rough but beast was neither Acorn nor Minos, but Anna herself. But toward what destination was Anna slouching? She dressed quietly and went out to the new barn. She was going to find that fucking cat. Someone would die today. Anna looked for the cat in the straw and the rafters of Acorn's stall. The little fucker wasn't there. Acorn nuzzled Anna's shoulder sleepily. I'm going to exterminate from this world every trace of that goddamn cat, she told him. But Acorn wouldn't meet her eye. Oh my. Anna was accustomed to Acorn's pensive moods, especially after he returned from one of his mysterious disappearances. She'd never begrudged him the begrudged she'd never begrudge him the time it takes to clear one's brain of new darkness, or to wait for the new darkness to spread until the whole brain is uniformly tainted and therefore uniformly purified. But this felt different. Was this the cat's doing? She asked herself. Or as Acorn finally gnawed through the last thread of that connected him to sanity, as I always knew that he eventually would? And I looked in the rest of the horse stalls. No cat catchism? Catechism? Cageism? Hmm. Could assuage the fear that coursed through her. As religion is helpless in the face of that which is inherently and insistently not only godless and ungodly, but even God negating, no catharsis was to be had that day. Anna knew, she said, then shook her head sadly. Her soul would remain unpurged. No, catanomy was not the answer either. It was far too late to hide or feign unresponsiveness. Pam and Pawnee came into the old barn. Did you find the cat? Did you find the categorical imperative that I explained to you last night to be helpful in your struggle to understand mortality? Pawnee asked. No, said Anna. I believe that we live in a post-Kantian world. Also, the cat the cat's still fucking missing. Maybe the woods, said Pawnee while drinking peppermint schnapps straight from the bottle. She had a serious problem. God, peppermint schnapps sucks. It's cold out there, Anna said. I would say I hope he freezes, but I know that liquid brimstone that surely flows through his veins will keep him warm. Pam put up a mink stole around Anna's shoulders. We'll all look for the cat, she creaked. But first we have to feed our ponies. Okay, said Anna. Pam went to the barn to get her pair of balances. When she returned, she leaped on Acorn's back, and lo, Anna beheld the black horse and its rider. Come and see, Pawnee told Anna. A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. What the ever-loving fuck are you even saying? Asked Anna. Acorn ran around the paddock once and then stopped. Anna was surprised that Acorn didn't run with his friends, but the red, white, and pale horses and their riders were nowhere to be found. Acorn just stood at the fence and stared into the woods. He's looking for the cat, thought Anna. Even the company of a devil must be preferable to being alone. After they ate breakfast, the girls packed thermoses of, you know what, the liquor joke is too obvious here this time. I'm going to make the thermoses full of healthy soup. You've got to give your characters a break once in a while. We're responsible for them, after all, and not in some shitty, pseudo-clever, magniloquent, metafictional way. You don't worry. I'm not going to get all 6 characters in search of ye here. That would just be self-indulgent. I mean, I'm obviously going to inevitably write myself into the story later, and it's going to be incredibly fucking self-indulgent. I'm going to be handing out indulgences like a 16th century Catholic clergyman. Except I'll be handing them all to myself, indulging myself all over the damn place. Martin Luther's going to have to come over here himself and bust my popish ass for it. I guess what I'm saying, Jane, is that I'm directly responsible for the Protestant Reformation. I conceived of this book as a dumb gag birthday present for you, but it's somehow turned into a Faustian, perilously close to Faustian saga about good and evil. At least that's what I think it had. At least that's what I think it has become about. I honestly still don't know at this point. Ergo, aforementioned responsibility, I always get carried away with my projects. You know that? You know that. But here's the rub. When I started inserting all the grandiloquent prose, it was ironic and intentionally turgid and purple as shit. But I'm really not sure if that's still what I feel I'm doing, or if I'm sincerely trying to write a compelling, dare I say, meaningful story about the nature of sin and redemption. It's certainly possible. Perhaps this whole project is some Freudian mechanism I'm using to work through complex issues tucked away deep in the neglected, cobwebby corners of my troubled teenage psyche. Or Jungian mechanism, or Janetian one. Jasperian? Christ, what is an European psychotherapists and J names? Sorry, I'm a bit rusty on my late 19th, early 20th century analytical psychology, and various mechanisms thereof. It's like psychology's Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, and I'm Charlie fucking Bucket out here, looking through the gate, my little sooty popper nose poking through the bars, wondering what could possibly be inside. Oh, what Saturn fantasies. Oh, what levelous loose reveries. Oh, the vagaries of gumdrops and licorice and taffies. But no Tootsie Rolls, because fuck those disgusting things, am I right? But then I finally, but then I find one of the 5 golden copies of the Interpretation of Dreams, and I get to actually explore this mysterious Palace, where events unfold as predictably and phallocentrically as would be expected such adventure through the psyche of an aging candy tycoon, who's the type of guy that invites nubile youths to his factory to inspect his fantastic contraptions. It's another fucking picture of horses. What do you want me to say? A fearsome paddock pirate runs by. What's this asshole even looking at? Probably some bullshit. That's what. Okay, fuck. I got way off track here. My attempt to assure you that I wasn't going to succumb to the lure of Fox philosophical meta commentary turned into just that. But then it turned into a legendary fantasy about Willy Wonka, I guess. Needless to say, the whole digression was slash is ironic. But it's the type of irony that has actually become sincere by virtue of its utterly failed approximation of sincerity. You know, I'd never unironically write something like those first few paragraphs, and I know you know. The fact that I did this is a de facto breach of unstated contract of communicable transparency between us. That I would betray said contract then become the actual meaning of the gesture. Why would I do such a thing if not to emphasize the degree of my sincerity? The form of the message becomes its content, and the original content of the meaning, therefore, is jettisoned off to God knows where. Eventually, we both become so concerned about whether or to what degree I'm being ironic that we lose track of what is that I'm being or not being ironic about. And of course, the above paragraph, as well as this one, the pretense of shitting my irony to address you directly about my failed use of irony elsewhere is another level of overarching irony, further masking slash enhancing the sincerity of said address, as well as the original content, if it's even accessible anymore. Sincerity has become just another pharmacon that's supposed to care to my irony. Supposed to care to my irony. Yet one which effaces the original message to just as much as the poisonous irony that obscured it in the first place. Either way, meaning is lost. It's complicated, is what I'm saying. Layers, pharmacon. I'll explain it to you someday. After eating their healthy soup, the 2 girls and the town set out on their journey to find the motherfucking cat so they could kill it and get back to their regular pony pal shit. As they rode, Pam looted a sweatshirt from the nearby corpse, and I didn't ask Pam how she knew the corpse was there. This Spencer will make a perfect smothering tool for the cat, she said. When they went back outside, Acorn was still standing at the fence, looking at the woods. The Pony Pals thought he was idly contemplating the terrifying vacuum that one inevitably finds when searching for any sort of meaning in existence, as he want to do. Little did they know that today Acorn was brooding on a more personal terror. Minos would be coming for him, and Acorn had a feeling that the moment of his arrival would be very soon indeed, and then the infernal cat would lead Acorn somewhere. He would use no halter to reins, but Acorn knew that this was the one rider that he could not buck. We have important work to do today, Aeon told Acorn. We're going to look for that unholy cat. Then we are going to embrace the basset and most primal bloodlust, and rend its head from its body. Anna put her left foot in the stirrup and swung on the settle. Dirkman's gone through several whiteouts dispensers. Uh, for what Acorn knew. Oh, wait. Yeah. Ah. For what Acorn knew would probably be the last time. Acorn was one for sentimentality, emotions he had found started to fade from one's mind after the first few thousand years of living. But Minos' words the other day had reawakened something within him. Why did he let Anna put a saddle on him? His previous herders all had been mighty gladiators, inspiring leaders of men, brilliant warrior poets, or chiefs. Chefs? Chiefs? Of above talent, of average talents. Chef. The chefs of above average talent. Interesting. And now, Anna Harley Ponypal. Spencer wrote this elaborate gag. Acorn was no unicorn, attracted to and tamed by the purity of a young woman. Then again, Anna was far from pure, but it was not her bloodthirstiness that had drawn Acorn to her either. Was it really, as Minos had tauntingly suggested, fear of his own power and increasingly inability to properly control it? Acorn had to admit that he was getting old, getting tired. Was he tired of sequestering himself to forget all all the he had been and the potential he had, the potential to be what had never been before been, and what could barely be at all? Was Anna the steel-lined concrete containment building around the nuclear fission reactor that was his mind? Anna took up Acorn's reins and led him into the woods. Together they melted into the tree line. All three, the girl, the pony, the woods, were lovely, dark, and deep. But Acorn had a promise to keep, and miles to go. And miles to go. The fight. That's about 2 hours. I should do something for work. I should do something. Yeah, I gotta do something actually after stream. Yeah, so yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes, I gotta end it here then. Oh my god. Okay. Um. Uh, Now we can do a bit of wind down unless you really gotta go. Um. I can. I don't really fully know. Detective Pony. Good. Yes. Meat. Good. Yes. Where's my keyboard button? There we go. Okay. So tomorrow is 413. Oh my god. They're like, is there Homestuck events happening tomorrow online? 413. Homestuck day. Stream is like a streamer thing going on for this? Anyone doing anything like that? NYC Stuck was this weekend. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Is there a SahawkCon equivalent now? You don't know? I don't know either. I don't know nothing. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I will not be able to stream on Friday. Or even Saturday actually. So I couldn't make up a day there. Hmm. I don't see any homesick events or anything. Hmm. I know. Maybe I do. Maybe I do go live tomorrow. Maybe I go live tomorrow and and continue Vast Air. That's the perfect thing to do on Homestuck Day is to read um media inspired by Homestuck. Yes, yes. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. So I won't be able to be live on Friday this week. I have to travel for work to our second little building. And I gotta travel and do an event, help with an event. They haven't really told me exactly what they need, so I am like going to somewhat guess. Tomorrow is 413 for you, and is it 413 for you now, or is 413 for you in 2 days? For me, I don't know. I don't know how time. I see probably now, right? I know last con was the last one. I'm sure someone else is doing online fan events. They're probably doing something in the Discord too, right? The Homestuck Discord. Hmm. Hmm. Yes, but yeah, I'll have to be doing something for work this weekend. I will be back for Sunday though. 100% be here for Sunday. I'll miss seeing cool MSPFAs having trailers and then never reading them. Uh, hmm. Okay. Hmm. Maybe epilogues tomorrow? Just a thought. Just a thought. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Just throw the epilogues too willy nilly in there. So I believe, is that 2 weeks ago or last weekend? I think it was 2 weeks. 2 weeks, maybe 3. I'm losing my mind. Check of time's going wild. We suddenly just added epilogues in just for just to do it, and can't do that too often. Hmm. But yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow. Gotta have a slowish pace. Or I just sit down for 10 hours just reading straight the complete thing. I finished the epilogues in one go. I finished Meat in one go. 10 hours. No, I'll die. Well, that's an exaggeration, but hyperbole. Hyperbole. Ah, yeah. What? Hmm. Trying to think of anything else to say here. I think that's all I have for the Sunday here. And yeah. What? Hmm. Yeah. So, recap. Vriska came back in the story and then just disappeared in that same part. It was nice seeing Vriska again. We love Vriska. We love Vriska here. Vriska, Jane are the best. We love them. Hopefully, meet Jane has some like weird butterfly effect, and she, you know, becomes the greatest, nicest, coolest character, completely justifiable and defendable. Yes, yes, yes. I love Jane. Jane's my gal. Um, what? Yeah, for realsies though. Thanks for stopping by, hanging out, listening to me struggle to read basic human words. And yeah, be back tomorrow. Bye.